Hello, my name is Simge Erdogan. I am the manager and the curator of the Murney Tower Museum, National Historic Site of Canada. A fun fact about myself, actually, first time I was in the tower as a manager, I accidentally locked myself in. And I need to tell the full story actually, I think it deserves to be known. So we were in the tower and it wasn't during a time when we were open to the public. It was during a time when we didn't have any visitors in. And I was simply here to take care of a few, technical issues that we were experiencing at that time. And I was here with a tech person who was helping me to figure things out. And having been here for the first time as a manager, I didn't know my site very well. I didn't know, things to do, things not to do, how to open the windows, how to lock the tower, things like that. And then in the end, I ended up accidentally locking ourselves in. The fact that we didn't have any visitors, neither inside nor even outside, it was a very quiet day, we weren't able to get out at all. So in the end, I had to give a call to my partner and asked him to please come run to the tower to come and rescue me. And yeah, this is lessons learned. I know how to do it, and I will never lock myself in ever again. I would say my love for museums brought me to Murney Tower. So I have been a museum professional, I would say, for a very long time now, almost a decade, during which I worked in the heritage and museum sector without a break. I was always working, I was always involving in museum sector professionally. And then a few years ago, I decided to take a break from my professional life in order to focus on my academic studies and pursue my PhD. So it was a very rewarding experience, that for sure. I did lots of museum research and I studied museums more academically. But after a while, I started to feel like I was really missing my job. I was really missing to contribute to the sector and to engage with the community in a different way, in a more professional way. And I just felt like I was ready to go back to my job. And right around that time, it was, I would say, great time. It was good timing. Murney Tower Museum was looking for a manager, and here I was. I just applied and I got the job, and that brought me here today. I have to say, there's so many interesting things about the tower, the things that I wasn't even aware of before coming here and started to work at the tower and started to work with the collections and started to learn more about its history. The first thing that I have to say is the collection is more comprehensive than any person could even imagine. So the collection does not only speak to Kingston's military past. It is, obviously, we have lots of artifacts that are military artifacts that belong to our military heritage. But in addition to those, we have a lot of artifacts that are domestic, that are really used by people of Kingston all the way from the 19th century, even up to recent times. So I really like this variety. Like when you look at our collections, you can really see Kingston in them. People, like actual people living and using them. This brings me to my favorite fact, actually. My favorite fact about the tower is the people of the tower. By people, I mean actual people, soldiers who lived in this very space. So you may have been familiar with this, but Murney Tower was built in 1846 as a military fortification. But what makes Murney really special is the fact that it's not only a military site, it was also home to, I would say, about 22 soldiers who lived in this tower with their families and with even their kids. So it was home to these people. And actually, the most important and I think interesting thing about it is that there was a baby who was born in this tower, in the exact same place where I am speaking to you right now. Her name was Murney May Pugh. Indeed, she was named after Murney Tower. She was born in May 1822, and she spent her early years in Kingston, and later on she moved overseas to New York, in particular, to practice nursing. And she became a nurse. She served in World War I. She saved so many lives, and actually she even won a medal for her service during the World War I. And I think this fact makes Murney really special for many people. 95 years of Murney Tower means 95 years of Kingston. As I mentioned before, before, like even looking at our collections, you can see Kingston in them. The Murney Tower Museum is the oldest operating museum in Kingston, which, thanks to the contributions and dedication of the Kingston Historical Society, has been open to the public since 1925. When I look at the past 95 years from this perspective, I can see all the transformations that Kingston have experienced, all the societal changes, all the big things, or even small things that happened in Kingston being reflected in the Murney Tower. And it's not only reflected in its collections, it's also reflected in its own building. When you look around this beautiful space, you can see the hints of past 95 years in this very building and all around you. And another thing is also the institutional memory. That's really important to keep an institution going. And when you look at our past as a museum, you can see people coming to this museum, my predecessors, our other museum staff, who work in this very space, in the same positions that we are working right now, making different contributions to this tower and also thereby to Kingston. So I would say it just makes me feel proud, and it makes me feel really happy to know that this little space here has been standing here for the past 95 years, witnessing everything that people in Kingston have been through. And hopefully it will keep being here for another 95 years and just keep bringing us really great stories while serving the Kingston community.